Welcome back to Meaningful Conversations with Beata. It's episode 53. Wow. I'm so glad that we are here second time for today with another very special guest. And before I introduce her, I want to bring the topic to you. So I love this topic. Oh my gosh. So maybe you'll see why I have these glasses. So the topic for today is sassy girls don't get the corner office. And I could not have a more perfect guest speaker for that because I have with me very sassy living Hallie Avolio with me. She's the owner and founder at Sassy Healthy Fit. She empowers in-demand women to prioritize themselves and unlock their sassy side without guilt. Couldn't I pick more perfect guest for that topic? Welcome, Hallie. I'm so excited for you being here. Welcome.
Thank you, Beata, for having me. This is lovely. And you know what? Even if we had tech issues last time, it was meant to be today. That's what I feel.
It's absolutely meant to be today. And let me see, because I cannot see comments up there, but anyone who is with us, please let us know that you are here. Tell us, how are you? I see 3 people right now, but I cannot see your name. So, well, let's get to the topic because I'm so excited. I have all these questions from myself and from other ladies that I actually asked online. What does it mean for them to live sassy life? And does this mean that I'm confident, strong, independent, or does it, for today women, or does it mean that I come off as witch with a capital B? So who are you as a sassy woman? Who are you living sassy life? And couple of ladies that I'm gonna just read their answer. Renee, she said, living sassy lifestyle is being uniquely you. Sandy, she said, living a fun life. Linda, she said, wild and free. Shelly, confident. Chris, giving no fucks and celebrating other women's successes and self-confidence. There is self-care, do what you want without asking for permission. So what does it mean for you, Hallie? Because you are living the sassy lifestyle. Tell me, what does it mean for you?
Oh my gosh, I loved hearing from the audience all their definitions because it's a combination of everything they said. And when I first started my business a couple of years ago, I really thought carefully about what I wanted the name of my business to be. And I had a vision in my mind that I wanted to have a business name that wasn't my name, because although I am the founder, I am the face, I am the voice, the intention is that my business and my brand represent a community. And so therefore I started thinking, what are 3 words that represent both me as a person, but also this community of women that I'm serving? And I always love things that are fun and out of the box and give no fucks, not in a mean way though, but in a way of, this is who I am and it's awesome and I'm not going to apologize it. And if it's not for you, that's also fine. And I love how you are as you. And so for me, sassy embodies all of that: the confidence, the fun, the being yourself, showing up as yourself, showing up messy, not putting yourself into a little box, not worrying that everything is perfect, and just maximizing living life. Because to me, that is what is truly sassy. And also when you can embrace that side of yourself, share openly about it, not airing your dirty laundry to speak, but being comfortable just in all aspects of who you are and what makes you who you are. I think that is sassy and powerful.
I love it. I love it so much. And Holly, let me understand and our audience. Garlene is with us saying confidence is the best ingredient to get work done. Absolutely. Thank you, Garlene, for being with us. And well, I know that you are living the life that you talk about because I watch you on Facebook. I'm part of your group and I was reading about you and getting to know you from the distance. So I know that you walk the talk, but is how your life was always for you? You were born with that? You were just lucky to have this sassy part in you? Or what, or maybe there was something that you actually had to change, that you had to adjust. How was it for you?
It's actually quite different. It's taken me quite a while to get to the place where I'm at now. But the place I'm at now, I feel, is my most true, authentic self. And yet that self is still evolving and changing each and every day. Because I actually put out a quote yesterday and I said, becoming myself is a journey. And I believe that that's true for all of us. We're all on a journey. We're not only one way. But to just share a little bit about my background, when I was growing up, I felt like I had to live a certain way. And I put myself in a self-contained box. And I went through life very much checking the boxes and doing all the things that I thought were expected of me and living a life that I felt was how it was supposed to be. And there were parts of it that I really enjoyed. And it wasn't as though I was traumatized necessarily or unhappy or miserable or anything like that. However, I felt often like I didn't fit in, and it was like I didn't fit into myself. And I was constantly trying to be like other people. I would see other people and think, oh, well, they seem to have it down. How can I be more like her? But when I tried to be like somebody else, I wasn't being myself and I wasn't happy. And so, you know, it took me, so I turned 40 last summer, and it took me probably 37 years before I realized that I had been living what I call the checkbox lifestyle and that it was making me really miserable. And I needed to get out of that, start living a life that was unique to me and made me feel good. And that's why I feel so passionately about helping other women step into their power to live their best life, whatever that looks like for themselves, without being a victim, without feeling guilty. And by putting themselves first, they understand that they actually can therefore show up better in all aspects of their life: professional life, friend life, family life, relationship life, sex life, all of
it. Wonderful. So, from what I'm hearing, the life was not always the way. You, like you said, you decided to step on the journey towards that and create it. So, ladies, you can create life whatever your desires. You can create it. You have to
100%.
decide. It's what I hear from Hallie. But let's go to this guilt, because we are perfect, ladies. We are just masters in feeling guilty about everything. So my question would be, or how do sassy ladies or sassy women do things that scares her without feeling guilty or freaking out?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that there's two parts to that. One, freaking out is just part of being a person. So I think that as people, we're going to have freakouts, and that's okay. But we have to be able to roll with it and let those feelings roll through us, wash through us, and then move on. But, you know, my assessment of guilt, it's a very useless emotion, because when you have guilt, you're allowing other people's opinions, priorities, perspectives to come before your own, and therefore infiltrate your own emotions and your own mindset. And that puts you in a powerless state. So when you're feeling guilty, you're making yourself powerless. And oftentimes it's because you haven't put up boundaries to protect yourself and your own interests. Sometimes guilt can also be used as a tool to really put off how you're feeling, almost like procrastination, or putting up a wall because you don't want to let people in and you don't want to be vulnerable and really share how you feel truly in your heart. So I think that by feeling guilty, when we are putting ourselves first, practicing self-care, for example, saying no to somebody, right? All these things that many women, myself included, like I am a work in progress. You know, by having guilt around that, we're putting ourselves second. And we have to get out of that mindset. We have to recondition, reprogram ourselves to understand that there's no reason that we come second to anybody. And not to get too gender stereotyped, because I don't want to go there, and I don't, but I think that culturally, you know, men typically don't have this sort of guilt, right? Because men can just do what they please and what they like. And I'm not I love men. I have 2 boys and a husband, and I love them dearly. So I'm not anti-man by any means. But I think culturally, men are not taught to have guilt around putting themselves first. And yet women are. So I think that it's part of our job in this day and age is to reprogram ourselves and take back our authority to say, I am worth it. I am enough exactly as I am. I'm worth it. And I'm not going to apologize or feel guilty. End of story.
I love it. Take back our authority and not apologizing for that. I loved it. And this is the woman I always wanted to be. I was, but for some time, with the life, whatever curves, I forgot for a second. And I think many of us, we have it and we forgot that we have it in. We go with the flow, with daily demanding, kids, husbands, partners, jobs, and we forgot to take care of ourselves by just simply admitting who we are and what we really need.
Absolutely.
That's true. And before I ask the next question, I want to say thank you to Garlene, still with us. There is Erin there that I just interviewed. She's a badass lady. She is saying, yes, feel it and move past it. Absolutely. Brenda Layton. Hi, Brenda. Mel West. We have one gentleman with us. Thank you so much for being here. So since we have one gentleman, I'm going to ask you, well, sassy women, they are, at least how I understand it and what I believe in, we are aware. We are aware who we are. That's why, like you said, we have boundaries. We have standards. I like to call it standards, that if you pass, I'm going to let you know. I'm not going to stay quiet and you cannot shut me down. Right. I will express what I think in a nice way. Sometimes not nice, maybe, but it depends. Yeah. But then I will apologize. So what type of significant other, or maybe what quality sassy lady is looking for in a significant other? So this person.
Ooh, that's a spicy question. I like it. Well, I would love to share that I have been married for almost 17 years, and my husband and I have been together for almost 20. So same person.
Wow.
But in total, we've been together, over 20 years and married almost 17. And here's the thing about relationships. I feel really strongly that relationships have to be built on trust and communication. Those are the 2 most important things in a relationship. Because if you can't trust each other, then you're not going to grow together. And if you can't communicate with one another, you can't learn and become more aware, like you're saying. And the thing about being in a relationship, whether, you and I are in a relationship as girlfriends, whether I'm in a relationship, a romantic relationship with my husband, if we can't communicate and express what our needs are, then how the heck is the other person going to know? Therefore, you have to be even more self-aware so that you can understand yourself to communicate that with your partner. And so I feel that it's really important for, an empowered person, woman or man, to come together with another human, if you're going to be in a partnership, that is open and willing to communicate. Because if you're not open and willing to communicate, it's not going to work. And we've all been in relationships, romantic or otherwise, where they've fallen apart, and almost 100% of the time, it comes down to a communication issue. And I feel so strongly about that. So if I can impart anything, any thoughts, any wisdom on anybody watching this today, just encourage and urge people to just communicate more and really be in tune with who you are. And when you lead with love and you lead your heart, you're never going to say the wrong thing.
And if you are in a right relationship for you, the other person won't get offended, yes, when you say what you really feel or think. But that thing, actually, I had to learn. I'm Polish, so I have my sassy side, of course. And it's funny story, actually, because when I came here a long time ago as a student, and we were at some party, and the guy, we were having accents, so there was more than just me, and they were all like around us talking, and this guy said, "Oh, that one is sassy, I like it." And I had no clue what sassy means. So, but I was afraid to admit that I don't know, because I know everything. Yeah. So I was like, oh, okay. So I figured out, because when you are at English is not your first language, you try to figure out. So I remembered only that word in Polish, similar word. It was the last name for one of our kings, Sas, S-A-S. So I was like, oh my gosh, he thinks that I'm like royal or royalty. That's so cool. So, oh my gosh. So this was funny, because when then I shared and asked English friends, I was like, oh, what sassy means? And someone said that's why I started with which with capital B, because she said, this lady, she said, a friend, like, I think he called you just which with capital B. So I was so confused. So you can make up words for yourself. I decided to stay with the royalty and, the being someone special. So it's how I feel when you feel sassy, someone special.
Absolutely.
That is so funny. But going back to this qualities that you said, communication, absolutely. Without communication, there is no happiness, no moving forward. But sometimes, like I said, I had to learn it, because we were from different cultures. My significant other felt offended when I was honest. So then we had to have another conversation, that it's not my intention to ruin our relationship or being mean to you. I just care, and when I care, I'm honest. So how is it? You said you have wonderful relationship for a long time, but how about women that you work with?
Well, absolutely. And to be honest, my husband and I went through a rough patch where we didn't have trust or honesty and good communication, and it nearly broke us apart. And we worked really, really, really hard to get to the place we're at now. And, there's good and bad thing, right? So although it was an awful situation, and it was very stressful and sad, and there was a lot of anger and hurt, what came out of it was a beautiful new blossom of love and trust and understanding, because it had come from a place of us really repressing on both sides a lot of our feelings, our intentions, our thoughts for many years. But for whatever reason, neither of us was really able to articulate that to the other. But I really feel that a lot of it was because we weren't able to articulate it to ourselves. I didn't understand inside of me why I felt the way that I felt. I just felt it because I didn't have the tools to be self-aware, to understand my mindset. And so I'll answer your question in that way, that the way that I help women is to help them understand their own mindset and who they are. Because in the journey of becoming yourself, there are a lot of tools that you need to utilize to understand your mindset, understand your intentions, understand how to communicate. These are not things that we're necessarily taught. These are not things that are taught in school. They're not things that are often welcomed in our culture. So how do you know them unless somebody else guides you, or you happen to stumble upon it through a book or a movie or a YouTube or a podcast, right? So my intention is, from my experience and from the work that I've done and the studying that I've done, is to teach women how to leverage these tools, how to be the best version of themselves. And that trickles down into all the other things, including your best relationship.
If you could share the most powerful tool that worked for you and now you're sharing with others, what would it be?
100% affirmations. That's an easy one.
Okay.
So I love affirmations, and I had not heard of them until a few years ago. And I've never been a religious person or a spiritual person previously. But when I first heard about affirmations, meaning that you have a statement about who you are, where you're affirming something positive about yourself, it really spoke to me. And I started practicing using affirmations on a daily basis as part of my journal practice. And it has changed my mindset 180 degrees. And the way that I like to look at them is to come up with what I call I am statements. And I love to teach women, come up with a list, a long list. I am fill in the blank. So I am strong. I am powerful. I am resilient. I am sexy and sassy. I am a badass babe. I am an abundant entrepreneur, whatever, right? You can have this long list. You can just keep going. You can add to it at all times. And draw on those affirmations when you need them, as you need them. So whether it's writing it in your journal, I also like to write affirmations on my mirrors. I write them in dry erase marker, and that's great because it comes right off. I use affirmation cards. I actually created an affirmation card deck. So I think that there's so much power in our minds, and there's so much power in the words that we use. And it sounds like almost too simple, right? It sounds like, are you kidding me? That does not work. It does work. You start to train your brain. You start to reprogram your thought process. You start to feel those things exactly as you want to feel and to be and how you are. That to me is so powerful and effective.
I love that Erin said, I do that too, love writing on my mirrors. I do that too. So ladies, yes, that's why I get attached to each other.
Yeah.
Right. I love that. And yes. And thank you for giving examples of this affirmations. I'm sassy and lovable. I'm sassy and sexy. I love that. I'm going to write this on my mirror too. I have one concern here. And yes. So when I do love affirmations as well, and I work with them when I was on the journey of awareness, and mindset is my, oh my gosh, favorite thing. And the one concern is, and what I see with my clients as well, is if you only focus on affirmations without actually going deep, and if there is stuff that you need to work on, just affirmations won't work for everyone. Just saying this, I'm confident, won't help if you don't take action. Saying I'm wealthy or I'm a CEO of whatever, it won't work if you don't check what you need to do. Yes. Yeah. So would you agree that first of all, you have to realize what you need, what actions need to be taken to be that person that you are talking yourself to, that you become?
Well, that's a terrific point. And I say that affirmations are just one tool in your mindset toolbox. So there's many others. And one of my good friends, her name is Anna Kusela, if anyone wants to check in with her, she always talks about thoughts turning into action, exactly like you're saying. And I think that that is very important, that it's not just thinking things, but you have to actually do. So will affirmations in and of themselves in a vacuum change your life? No. Will, taking a single action in and of itself change your life? No. You have to call on all these different tools in your toolbox. But if it's one simple thing that you can start doing to build momentum, I think that affirmations and gratitude are very simple. And what I like to focus on things that are simple, sustainable, and fun. And if you can start using the tools in your toolbox that are simple, sustainable, and fun to create consistency and do it every single day, it builds momentum so that you can take those action steps to really create the life that you want. And you also have to dig deep and be aware and be ready to do the hard work, because there's like shit down there that you just like have to touch through the mud and be willing to accept yourself and dig it up and go through it and all of it. And sometimes it's messy and ugly and scary, and you still have to go through it. And if you're not willing to do that, then you're never going to change.
Absolutely, couldn't agree more. And like you said, when you combine writing, I like writing, and you said using journal, combining journaling with affirmations, I think it's a bomb, because you are, like you said, reframing your mind from negative to positive, and you can see actually what the dirt that Hallie was just talking about is.
Yeah, right. Because we all have it. And
oh yeah,
I mean, if someone thinks that they don't have it, they have it. Like everybody has it. We all have that like deep, ugly junk that's like somewhere down there, right? But those that are the most successful are those who are willing to like dredge it up and like work through the muck and come out on the other side. Like that's what I was trying to say about my situation with my husband is we went through the really ugly, yucky, muddy, murky, all of it. And we came out so much better on the other side. But if we hadn't been willing to do that, we just wouldn't have worked.
So one of my affirmations is I'm willing to change. And whatever that change is, it's from Louise Hay, I believe. And I'm willing. So you have to be, you need to be willing to do something, that the change that you are looking for, you have to be open for and do the work. I love that.
Absolutely, 100%.
And look at Hallie. Come on, she's shiny, pretty, beautiful. This is the life on the other side.
The life.
Yeah, I wish I could have.
It's the pink lipstick. Come on.
Oh my goodness, I love that. Hallie, so my almost final question is, during your journey to get to this bright side, what is the more meaningful lesson you learned and want to share with all sassy ladies watching right now, and men?
Yes. I think the lesson to learn is humility. We are not perfect. We are not meant to be perfect. We all have work to do. And having the humility to know that we are a work in progress, but that we also have every opportunity to really create the life that we want. That's, to me, that's where the magic is. So don't sit in that victim mindset of thinking that life just happens to me. Life happens for us. And when you have the humility to understand that, yeah, shit happened back there, but that's okay, because I can work through that, and I can change, and I can when I'm ready. When I'm ready to make those changes, when I'm ready to work on myself, I can go this way.
Beautiful. Ladies, please make a note, share with others. You can have a life that you always dreamed about. It's possible. It's possible for Hallie. It's possible for me. It's possible for all of us. And the final question is where people can find you, get to know you more, get in touch, and see what you actually do for this work.
Thank you so much. So you can find me on all social media platforms. I mostly hang out on Facebook and Instagram. I think you'll tag me probably. So my Facebook is Sassy Healthy Fit, and my first name, Hallie Avolio, is my personal page. Instagram at Sassy Healthy Fit. I do a lot on my stories. I love to be there. You can also check out my website, which is sassyhealthy.fit. I have an amazing Facebook community. I would like to invite any women who would like to join us. We can probably tag that as well. And then the last thing I just want to mention, I also have a podcast called the Sassy AF Audio Experience on iTunes and Spotify. So wherever people want to connect with me, you can find me.
Yes. I think if you can just Google your name and it's what happened when I did that.
Yeah.
So you can find they can find you for sure.
Absolutely.
Hallie, I want to say thank you so very much, first of all, for what you do for other women and for future generations, because it matters. And thank you so very much for being authentic and being here with us today and sharing your life wisdom and your life lessons.
Thank you, Beata, for having me. It's a real honor and a pleasure, and I'm so happy to share, and we'll look forward to talking to anybody more if they're interested.
Absolutely. Thank you. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you for being with us here. Darlene, she posted, so you have to check the post, the comment, because she is just crushing it. So thank you so much. Yeah. Yes, she will connect for sure. She's my friend. Anyway, everyone, have a wonderful day. Hallie, again, I appreciate you, and please keep doing what you do.
Thank you so much. It was lovely to be here. I so appreciate you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.